After the end of the class, I will check the answer. Do you remember? You're right. Fine. Can you name some of the places before the emergence of mature Harappan stage? In Balochistan, Sanju? What are the places before the emergence of mature Harappan phase like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro? Here, for example, when we say mature Harappan, we are talking about Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, then Kalibangan, Banwali. Here we have Dholavira. These are the some of the important places where we have seen mature peak stage of the. Here we have Chanhudaro. These are the places we consider as the peak of civilization. Some kind of features they were discovered since the beginning of 1920s. Now, do you remember some people name? Suppose if I write here, the people behind this, Charles Mason, Harappa, other person, Sanju, remember? Alexander Cunningham.
But he did not, for the first time when he came, he did not got the signature of the Harappa. He just thought that it is any, just like the normal houses and buildings are there.
Yes.
Like
He did not feel that it is something great.
need to excavate something, he was this one of the new portals. And some of the Shastras also thought that this was the place where Alexander and Porus fought with each other.
Yes, it was the place Alexander came and fought against the Porus. If we go to this area, this is the one. Because always in history, geography plays very, very important role. Because of the close proximity with the other territory, the culture, economy, society, everything is going to be influenced. And this person, Charles Mason, thought it was from here the Greece military general Alexander came and fought against Porus. So that was the initial understanding. After Alexander Cunningham. Then in 1920s, Dayaram Sahani, excavated Harappa. Next one, R.D. Banerjee. R.D. Banerjee, Indian archaeologist. Next one, the person who announced, John Marshall. John Marshall. Formal announcement of Harappan civilization in 1924. So these developments were taking place in 1920s. And thereafter many people contributed. Mortimer Wheeler, when he came as Director General. Then after independence also, Indians, obviously after independence, Indians became the head of direct archaeological survey of India. One person like B.B. Lal, one person. And after independence, particularly the focus entered into the Vedic civilization. Because up to now, we were, since before the emergence of this Harappan civilization, we were always thinking that our history started with Vedic period. That's why natural that after independence, our historians and archaeologists started digging whether this Harappan civilization is in fact the Vedic people or not. Or Vedic people built these cities. And based on the description of the Vedas and Rig Veda and other Vedas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, these are the only literary sources. And based on that, in Mahabharata, Ramayana also, so much description of city life is there. So it was thought that probably these Harappans were the Vedic people. So somehow it tried to be generated interest after independence, and so much continuous developments were happening. But before the independence, these are the people. You can, wherever it is required in the answer, you need to bring these people name. When it comes to 1920s, these Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Chanhu-daro, these were promising cities, and they have seen outward appearance like great town planning. If we go to this, Mohenjo-daro civilization, you can see this kind of. Now when you someone see this, and it did not happen, even today also such kind of constructions are not visible in the villages. Now if you see something, this happened 3000 years ago, naturally it generates a lot of curiosity. That's why they started digging more. The more they are digging, they are coming out more interesting features. Like town planning, there were some great trading practices. These trading practices they found through different seals. And on seals, they were seeing some kind of script, some writing was also there. That must be, that seems these people are very well educated people. Trading activities, and on these some kind of images that shows religious beliefs. Now already we have some kind of historical view. Our Vedas and later Vedic text, Mahabharata, Ramayana, they all described so much religious life, so much social life, so much economic life. Now we have that ready-made understanding, and more visibility is coming in the archaeological form. That's why it generated more and more interest. Now based on this, different racial features also in the skeletons, different type of racial people were there. Negroids are there, Mongoloids are there, Proto-Australoids are there.
Aliens determine the racial features. It can only determine which gender and alien, but racial features, how can skeletons define?
DNA matching. That is one area. Another one is based on the images. For example, bronze dancing girl. Visibility is one way. And when you see the priest king, the head of the priest king looks like Mongoloid. Can you see this? Priest king, some Mongoloid features. And this is one other way of. In DNA analysis also, whether DNA is matching or not. But the mixing will be there. It is not a pure form of, but it was showing that different features. Now you can see this is one type of. And when it comes to one type of facial features. It shows that this type of people might be there. That's why they are representing in the form of images. Based on this comparison, this is one type of physical feature and this is another type of physical feature. So that must be different type of people came together, and so it is multi-racial and multicultural society. Because in 1920s and 1930s, in independence movement, this Pakistan movement was also started. Religion is becoming dominant theme in politics, communalism, and these features are also entered into the Indian politics. Now we have to prove that our Indian society was always secular. On one hand, people were demanding that religion is different and we need separate country. But on the other hand, other forces, we were always secular. We were not divided based on the religion. When it comes to these societies, when it comes to Egypt and Mesopotamian civilization, religion played very, very important role. There, the priests, they played dominant role in the politics. And big temples, they constructed. And when it comes to here, big, huge tombs for the people they constructed. But when it comes to here, it is not the priest who ruled, and also there were no great tombs for the rulers. And all it was discovered is when it comes to great water management, sanitary facilities, which are very, very crucial for the day-to-day activities, and proper houses construction. So this shows they are more interested in the present day comfort of the life rather than extra life. So all these features show some kind of interest comparing with the contemporary civilizations. Today we are going to see what are these features. These features also can be questioned. For example, explain about, throw light on the religion. Again, question, earlier it was the question, explain about the religious features, explain about the trading practices, explain about the town planning features. Earlier questions were like that. But nowadays they are asking how the religion of Harappan entered into next stage of life, or how socio-economic factors before the emergence of civilization became important features in mature Harappan. So we are going to see these features. Till yesterday we have seen in different locations how different type of traditions were there. Local, that was called, some scholars called it as localization, regionalization, different terms they were given. Today you start early Harappan phase. We have seen characteristic features of Harappan people. You write this. First one, town planning. Town planning. Here in the right side of your notes, to make a box, In this box, you write the question. Because this will give you the idea how questions were coming and in what perspective we have to see this topic. Give an appraisal. Give an appraisal, APPA. Give an appraisal of town planning of the Indus cities. Of the Indus cities. And evaluate the various reasons for their decline. This question contains two parts. One is the decline, reasons for the decline. Another one is appraisal of the town planning features. Here we will deal with the town planning, and when it comes to the decline part, we are going to see the decline. Write this. First I will show you. This is the city. Now you can see some kind of structures above certain raised platform. Some areas were on the raised platform, some areas on the lower area. In this way, the cities were divided into two major parts. One is upper town, another one is lower town. First I will explain, then I will dictate you, then you can write. Lower town, this is upper town. And you can expect that the kind of upper town areas, for example, even today also, you might be seeing certain rich areas. There you will see different kind of houses. When it comes to the outside area, you will see different kind of. So here it seems common people were living. Here it seems rich people were living. And rich people also might be administrators, because we don't know exactly. Because there is no decipher, we are not yet deciphering the script. We don't know exactly what was their administration. But probably the administrative people. For example, today, if we see in Delhi, even our Parliament Bhavan or the Rashtrapati Bhavan is on the raised platform. Do you know what is the name of the hill? Raisina Hill. So Rashtrapati Bhavan is in Raisina Hill. So elevated portion. And the remaining city is in next level. Do you know why this Raisina Hill was? Because that area was constructed by the British in this time period only. House of the Viceroy. Why they wanted to build in on top of the hill? Natural fortification, one thing. To look over the people, okay, one area. Yes, okay.
Also, they wanted to seclude themselves from the Indian natives.
To seclude from natives, okay. Right, very good. Next. And even during medieval time period also, the kings used to stay near the hilly area common people might be staying near the foothill. So since ancient times, Rajgir Fort completely surrounded with a hilly area. So it is a natural defensive mechanism. That is one reason. And another, they want to show that they are superior. That is social status also. And they are different from the common people. And even in fact, Raisina Hill, when they constructed, when they have chosen that particular place, do you know in which year? Earlier, Calcutta was the capital of British. Later, it was shifted from Calcutta to Delhi. In which year they have transferred? 20th century. Sanju, any idea? 1911. Yes. After Swadeshi movement, when Bengal was partitioned, so much uprising happened. Out of fear, and also they want to appease the Muslim community. Delhi was the capital during medieval time period. It was very important for the Muslim community. That's why to appease, it's a appeasement politics. They transferred city to Delhi. But they have chosen Raisina Hill because earlier the capital of Mughals was Shahjahanabad. Shah Jahan created Red Fort, Jama Masjid in that area. Comparing with that area, British should stay on the above ground. That's why they have chosen Raisina Hill. So it is natural that now this is Shahjahanabad and this is Raisina Hill. On one hand, they are showing the concern towards the Muslims and they shifted capital from Calcutta to Delhi. But once they came to Delhi, there was a demand to appease in 1909, communal electorate came. Only Muslim community can vote for the Muslim representatives. But there was continuous uproar in Swadesh in the form of Swadeshi movement. Because of Swadeshi movement, there was a gradual, very drastic reduction in the profits of the company, profits of the British goods, because Indians boycotted. They did boycott, and because of that, they could not withstand. And moreover, the revolutionaries also started attacking the British officials. In 1907 onwards, Prafulla Chaki, so different people started. And in Maharashtra also, revolutionaries started. V.D. Savarkar and Abhinav Bharat. In Bengal also, Khudiram Bose. And so many secret organizations came. And it is for their safety also, because they felt Calcutta is not safe anymore. And moreover, after 1911, they withdrew the decision. So they once again merged East Bengal with West Bengal. Now earlier they promised Muslim community, you will be given separate province. Now they have withdrawn the decision. That means once again it became unified. Now you have to satisfy Muslim community in some other way. That's why they have chosen Delhi. And they were saying Delhi was the capital. Now once Delhi becomes the capital, once again it raises the prestige of medieval times. And they shifted because one is their safety, another one is this historical reason. But once they came here, they have chosen Raisina Hill, not the plain area, to show that they are different. So natural, this is, today we have so much literature, this happened just in front of us, just 100 years ago. Probably that might be the case to 3000 years ago also. When those who are the ruling class want to take care of the people, now those who are, this is the remaining portion. After 3000 years, this is what left. But we don't know 3000 years ago what kind of buildings were there. How big they are also, we don't know. And how they were looking after this entire region also, we don't know. Probably it is our estimation. In archaeology, it is only inference. Administration purpose, rich traders, because the religious class was not dominant here. That's why probably trading class is living there, rich traders. And when it comes to this, common people like peasants, agrarian people, common traders, and whoever who are not part of this class. Likewise, this is one division. Generally two parts, upper town and lower town. But in some areas, there are three parts. First part, middle part and the lower town. Upper town, middle part and lower town in certain areas. So this was the broad town planning. And these are the general features. Now even in house construction also, when houses they constructed, the windows were not to the main street. Streets were always like this, grid structure. Grid structure. So street, this is one feature of town planning. This is very well advanced. Otherwise, it is going to be very haphazard one. Even today also we don't have this kind of planning. After independence, we consider Chandigarh. Chandigarh is considered as one of the planned cities after independence. But most of the cities are very haphazard. They grow in very haphazard way. But they had the streets, it's in very almost straight form. And this shows they were very planned form. Unless there is proper planning, you cannot have this kind of structure. So this shows they had proper planning, and these windows also, they were not to the main street, they were to the side streets. Privacy and also dust also may not come, so all those things. So this is another feature. And when it comes to individual houses, privacy is one thing, sanitary facilities were also there. So all those things, they were part of town planning. Now you keep writing one by one. Under different headings, we will get what type of building material, what they used, how they planned it, so all those things. First you give the heading. Under town planning only subheadings will come. Harappan town planning. Subheading. Cities were well planned. These features we can see in Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Surya, are you able to follow? Are you able to connect the different features of Harappan people? Cities were well planned. We see the evidence. Okay, Surya. Well planned. But again, whatever we see, we cannot completely say that every city, every area is well planned. That is over exaggeration. This is oversimplification that every city is like this. And in fact, there were more than such kind of settlements came. Hundreds of settlements came. In the excavation, hundreds of settlements came out. But all these settlements do not have these features. That extra critical element also we need to write. On one hand, this also there. Second one. Second point. Planning was, however, planning was not very strict, across the civilization. Because today we have to see in a rational view, rational perspective. Otherwise, in 1920s, Britishers were always saying that we were not civilized one, we don't know anything. In that context, Indians also try to exaggerate that, no, whatever you are saying is not right, we were always like this. Even today also, if someone degrades Indian culture, we used to say that in Vedas itself we invented this, we did like that. But that is exaggeration, just to counter the narrative. But rationally, if you see in the scholar's perspective, in the rational view, we have to see based on exactly evidence, how far it is. That's why in UPSC, many questions you will find this particular statement, how far this particular view is right. So the moment you see this particular term, how far, automatically you have to write the both sides of the reality. We cannot only say that, we cannot only show the positive, because Gupta time period is a golden period. This is oversimplification, but on the other hand, there are negative elements also we have to highlight how far. Similarly, same is the case with this also. They were well planned to a certain extent, but this was not strict across the civilization. Varied layouts. Next point. Varied layouts across settlements. Varied layouts across settlements. You give these three city names: Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan. Were divided into two parts. First one, the part one is, that was called citadel, raised citadel. Second one, lower city. So this is what optional answer will differ. When it comes to GS, you can simply say Harappan towns were divided into two parts. One is raised citadel, another one is lower city. You need not to mention about the city names also. But as history optional, you have to mention raised citadel and lower city. Dholavira. Dholavira divided into three parts. So different layout, varied layouts across civilization. Few examples, two parts. Dholavira gives three parts: citadel, middle town, citadel, middle town and lower town. Next you give one more. Lodal and Surkotada. Lodal and Surkotada has the feature Surkotada have the feature of integration of citadel within the main settlement. Integration of citadel within main settlement. So while you are reading GS, you probably read up to here. Harappan towns were divided into two parts, raised platform called citadel, another one is lower city. But history optional will give two more points. Few points. This only few cities divided like this. One city is like this. In one city, the citadel is not a separate one. Citadel is integrated with the main settlement. This is about Harappan town planning. This is the main heading. Now, what type of building material they used? Second one, building material. Now you connect since the beginning of human civilization or the beginning of humans, Paleolithic, Neolithic, Chalcolithic and urban. In Paleolithic, what type of houses they used? In Paleolithic caves, and when it comes to Neolithic, wattle and dawab. And in Chalcolithic phase, in Neolithic also, in Chalcolithic also. Mud bricks, pit dwellings in certain areas. Mud bricks. So you can see how initially naturally available houses, caves, then they started learning wattle and dawab, then they started using pit dwellings, natural, and another one they started using mud bricks, and now this material is going to change, burnt bricks. You write this point. So this is how you have to say as a history optional student, always try to connect from the previous ages. Then only you will have very good understanding, very good idea. Whatever may be the question, you will be able to write best answer. Building material. Here also we are going to divide. We have cities also, villages also in Harappan civilization. In villages, what type of building material? Houses made of mud bricks, right? Houses made of mud bricks, comma, stones, and when it comes to towns, sun-dried bricks. Now you see the continuation of from the previous also, they are going to innovate something new also. Sun-dried bricks and burnt bricks. Sun-dried bricks, burnt bricks. So this is how, suppose if you want to, in society also GS1, in society, the village, the society, how Indian society is continuing since ancient times means, suppose if the one component, subheading is houses construction. Earlier caves, then wattle daub, then pit dwellings, then mud bricks, then sun-dried bricks, then burnt bricks, stones. You will see so many points will keep coming. Next, this is one area. Next one, in rocky areas, extensive use of stones. Extensive use of stones. So naturally, wherever, whatever material is available, they started using it. Here, for example, Dholavira. Dholavira has fortification wall. Dholavira has fortification wall and stone pillars. And stone pillars. When it comes to pillar tradition, we always remember Ashokan pillars. Samudragupta, same Ashoka pillar only. Allahabad inscription, Samudragupta Allahabad inscription. It was written on the same Ashokan pillar only. So that pillar is having both Ashoka inscription, Samudragupta inscription, and in fact during Mughal time period also Jahangir inscription is also there. In Allahabad, Prashasti, we call Prashasti. Prashasti means praising. Praising. Suppose if you are a Bhakta of Prime Minister, then you will start praising. Generally, any Prime Minister, if any Prime Minister is doing well, or if people believe that he is doing great, so naturally what they do, the authors, writers or movie makers, they used to praise. Similarly, Samudragupta, he was the ruler, king, and Harisena started praising. This Prashasti is not something new. Even when it comes to Prashastis, we have a question also. How these Prashastis can be taken, how far these Prashastis can be taken as historical. So this always comes. Always as a history optional student, you should be able to see the reality with the historical fact. Historical fact is something, exaggeration is something. Yes. They used to compare gods, kings with gods. So that was the kind of tradition. Even today also, if people start liking a leader, they construct even temples also. Even today, 21st century, then in 5th century, 4th century, you can expect what kind of. In rocky area, that's why the Ashokan pillar tradition we used to say. But before Ashokan pillar itself, one reference from Dholavira itself, we have pillar, Dholavira pillar. There is no inscription, but we don't know the exact why they use this pillar also. Whether it is for measurement of the water level, or it is part of housing. In housing construction also pillars can be used. And this pillar, we don't know exactly for what purpose they utilize this. Or say this kind of pillars. And there is a tank type of construction. In the tank you saw the pillars. But we don't know whether Was there any building like this on top of this, or it is a water tank and they used it for measurement? Like this. So whenever pillar in art and culture also, whenever art, pillar is a part of art and culture, you will see. Whenever you are going to write something about pillar, you have to bring Dholavira also has the evidence of using the pillars. So that's why always you need to see in history optional connectivity since the beginning.
So can we name some sites so that where the big industry was there? Big industries were there in sites,
In which sites? Brick industry. Okay, it will come. In industrial activity, artisan activities, it will come. So building material. Now you see in rocks, you can see in Dholavira, you can see the rocks. In plain area, you are going to see this. Geography is going to play important role in the construction. Even today also, in northeastern part, you will find some type of housing. In rainy areas, you will find some kind of houses. In desert areas, you will find some kind of type of housing construction. In plain area, a different type of construction. So geography plays important role. And when it comes to here you have Indus Plain, where in Indus Plain, today it is semi-desert area or dried area. But at that point of time, it was covered with dense forest. That is why tigers, rhinoceros, those animals were there. That shows that it was dense forest, sufficient amount of wood was available. They used that wood and they constructed these burnt bricks. And when it comes to Kutch area, Gujarat area, they got natural uses of the stones and they utilized stone in Dholavira. That is building material. Next one. Brick laying style. Building material. Third one. Brick. Brick laying style. Here you give one particular thing. English bond style. English bond style for maximum wall strength. For maximum wall strength. Next, uniform brick size. Uniform brick size. The ratio 1:2:4. So when it comes to English bond style, so this is the way of English bond. For maximum, different styles in the housing construction. That name is English bond style for maximum strength. This is the house design. Next you give house design. What is this point? Third one, fourth one. And this question, whatever we are writing, I have given you give an appraisal of town planning. It was a previous year question. In which year? In 1979 it was asked. That time directly they were asking this, but nowadays they are asking the economic features or the environmental features behind this. Next, house design. You write variety in house sizes. Variety in house sizes, 1 point. Second point, general structure is rooms around a central courtyard. Rooms around a central courtyard. Rooms around a central courtyard. Next point, doorways or windows. Doorways or windows more often facing side lanes. More often facing side lanes than main streets. Than main street. Next point. Roofs are wooden beams. Roofs are wooden beams. Wooden beams. Okay. Floors are hard packed earth. Hard packed earth. Like normal hard earth. Roofs of wooden beams. Huh?
So much that they count running, so much innovations they make more solar. Why did they make the roof as wooden one? Why wooden makes so many others? Because wooden is very risky over there. Because wooden would be like that's very quick in over time.
It is a weakened structure. Why would they use instead of more strong material? Here we are talking not only about the mature, complete, only cities, villages, houses, mud bricks, stones. And do you think if a person is using mud bricks or stones, can they use burnt bricks or advanced structures? There are certain people who are using the basic material. There are certain people who are using the advanced technology. In Harappan civilization, we find both. Wooden also, burnt bricks also. Here we are talking about entire civilization, not only about only those few areas, but even during the mature phase also we are seeing these differences, different type. Next, renovations. Suppose you ask, if it is a damaged material, what they do? They will renovate. That is also another feature of Harappans. Because this also is visible. Whenever there is a flood, they used to raise the level of the level. That's why you will find multiple layers of Mohenjo-daro, multiple times rebuilt. They used to, whenever sea level rise, what happens? Suppose if we will raise the platform, then again water will come, we will raise the platform. Again water comes, raise the platform. Like that, we are going to see in Mohenjo-daro multiple, that is one of the evidence to show that there was continuous flood in the Mohenjo-daro. Renovations. Frequent renovation activity in larger houses. Frequent renovation activity in larger houses. All right, up to here. So these are various town planning features. You write about general city planning, then upper town, lower town, but differences. Then you give in the end streets, grid pattern, streets, last point, streets. Streets were laid in grid pattern. In grid pattern. Continue the statement. However, there are evidences to show that streets are not always in straight line. Not always in straight line. Straight line. Next topic we have to discuss about water management. Water management of Harappans. because this is something even today also it is relevant. We are talking about Swachh Bharat, in drought prone areas how to safeguard the water, water harvesting mechanism, and what lessons we can learn from Indus Valley civilization. Water management. In 2013 there was a question, you write this. Discuss the water management. Discuss the water management and its conservation planning. Water management and its conservation planning in the Harappan. In the Harappan, in bracket, Indus Saraswati. Indus Saraswati, bracket close, Harappan, in bracket Indus Saraswati cities. Discuss the water management and its conservation planning in the Harappan cities. In the Harappan cities. So here we will see, you draw the map. This map will contain different geographical locations and their features. So here semi-arid, desert, semi-arid, plain area, Indus, Gaggar Hakra. This is also called as Saraswati. That's why they called Indus Saraswati. Indus Saraswati cities. So these are the various water facilities available. Different type of geographical locations are there. Accordingly, they have to utilize. Right. First one, sanitation. You keep giving different points, and these points you can elaborate when it comes to the answer. Houses with separate bathing areas. Bathing areas and toilets. Next, bathing areas connected with drains outside the wall. Outside the wall. Floors made of tightly fitted bricks. Tightly fitted bricks. Waste drainage system. Waste drainage system leading from houses to streets. We are talking about which time period? 2600 to 1900. So that time itself, this much care they have taken. Even in GS 2 also, when it comes to social justice, health and sanitation, you can quote. In essay also, wherever it is required, you can quote. 3000, 3500 years ago itself, Indians had given importance to sanitation. Next, toilet system. Toilet system ranging from simple pits to elaborate commodes. Simple pits to elaborate commodes. So different style, different people. Next, sanitation, maintenance. Maintenance, regular cleaning of drainage system. separately you give drainage system. Drainage system. Suppose whenever you require the evidence, Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, these two areas you can always quote, Harappa, Mohenjo-daro. Point 1. Well-planned and efficient drainage systems. Well-planned and efficient drainage systems in almost all settlements. Well-planned and efficient drainage systems in almost all settlements. Separate sewage and rainwater collection systems. Separate sewage and rainwater collection systems. Today, whenever monsoon comes, Bombay floods, Chennai floods, Delhi floods. Mostly in Delhi we will not see, but in Bombay and Chennai we used to see. In 2018, Kerala floods, huge. Most of the town, Hyderabad floods. So, yes, so in most of the urban areas, because we don't have this rainwater collection system and drainage. This drainage and rainwater system mix, and during that time period, floods takes place. They had separate system. Again, you have to see it is a oversimplification that every part of city is having like this. But definitely most of the cities were having like this. That's why 3000 years ago having this idea itself is great. Separate sewage and rainwater collection systems. Next, terracotta drain pipes. Terracotta drain pipes directing wastewater into street drains. Directing wastewater into drains. Regular soak pits are used for solid waste management. Soak pits for solid waste management. So today also questions in general studies used to come. Solid waste management in environment. You can use this evidence. Next, water supply. Next heading, water supply. Sources of water. Sources of water. You can see the sources of water here. One is rivers, many rivers are available. Another one, wells, they constructed wells. And in certain areas like Dholavira, they constructed reservoirs. All these are the sources of water. Rivers, wells, reservoirs. In bracket you give reservoir, Dholavira. Large number of wells in Mohenjo-daro. Large number of wells in Mohenjo-daro, central reservoir in Harappa, central reservoir in Harappa, stone-lined water reservoirs in Dholavira, stone-lined water reservoirs in Dholavira, water supply. So sources like this they maintain. Next, importance of water. Importance of water in Harappan life. Even today also same. Importance of water for drinking, for bathing, for irrigation. Today also same thing only. Everyone. This is common. The second point is important one. Possible religious significance. Great bath. Possible religious significance. Possible religious significance of usage of water. Evidence of great bath in Mohenjo-daro. Evidence of great bath Mohenjo-daro gives the evidence of this fact. So this is how questions are coming. Town planning, water management, because this water management is something in NCERT also we won't find. In R.S. Sharma also broadly we won't find. Only we will see Great Bath is there and Dholavira reservoir is there. But you have to analyze in this respect. In Upinder Singh they have given properly. That's why for certain questions, and nowadays Lodal dockyard also, yes, you can use. You can use dockyard at Lodal. So sea route for trading purposes. So they used rivers also, sea also, well also, reservoir also. Whatever sources are available, natural. Anyone, whatever geographical resources are available, suppose today India, whatever geographical resources are available, we have to plan our economic system accordingly. We cannot import everything. And oil we are importing, but still we are trying to find alternative sources of energy. Why we are going for alternative sources? Because always importing is not sustainable in the long run. We have to find indigenously. That's why the locally available raw material dominates the economic system. Next one. Everyone cannot grow the rice. Wherever water is available, only they can grow. Next heading, subsistence pattern of Harappans. Subsistence pattern of Harappans. Write the question. In 2014 it was asked. Do you think, question, do you think the Harappan civilization, had a diversity of, had a diversity of subsistence base? And whenever you want to understand this economic angle, you have to understand the geography. This is the political map. Now, if we see the physical map, this is how it looks. Now you see, this area is desert area. And this also desert area. And this area also semi-desert area. Balochistan, desert area. And if you observe, only a track this is the plain area, and near this plain area only you will find and their settlements are surrounding this, and their settlements continued in this location also. Whatever resources are available, they have to use it. Now, what are the available resources for them? Can you see? One is fertile land, Indus River. Then what resources you can see here? First of all, let us write geographical features. What type of geographical features they had? Geographical features, because this geography plays important role in determining their lifestyle. Geographical features. Harappans had various ecological zones. Harappans had various ecological zones. Suppose if I ask you, Alexander, he came from which pass? Khyber Pass only. Through Khyber Pass he came. While going, he took Bolan Pass. Bolan Pass. So here, hilly area. Here also hilly area. And there is plateaus also. There is Potwar Plateau. This is plain area, alluvial plain. Here this is semi-desert area, semi-arid area. If you see the geographical features, they have alluvial soil also. They have hilly area also. They have plateaus also. They have sandy desert and semi-arid areas. These geographical features naturally determine their way of life also. You write. Alluvial plain. Alluvial plains. And in addition to that, they have huge sea in front of them. Alluvial plains, mountains, plateaus, sea coast, rivers. Rivers are there, sea is there, plateaus, mountains, alluvial plain. Suppose even today also in GS 1 you can expect, or in GS 3 also in economy you can expect, what is the role of coastal area in the economic development of India? How this coastline will help in the economic development? Now when it comes to Harappan also, how this coastline helped them in their economy? How this river helped them in their economy? How the forest area or how mountains helped them in their economy? This is the beginning point. Based on their resources only, they can expect the different kinds of the lifestyle. So these are the ecological zones. Next one. Types of subsistence. Alluvial plain is there, agriculture. Agriculture is the main profession. Agriculture played very dominant role in their economy. Actually, strong agriculture led to the urban life. So second one, artisan activities. Artisan activities. Next, use of riverine and marine food resources. Riverine and marine food resources. Rivers are there, sea is there. So both fishing, important activity. Along with fishing, they used to collect the shells also. And whatever collected the shells, these shells were used in the artisan activities. Shell making beads. And they sold the beads. And in fact, they used to export to the other civilizations also. It's a kind of activity. Next one, animal husbandry and hunting continued. In the previous culture itself, animal husbandry, domestication of animals and hunting. Hunting in the Paleolithic, agriculture, or domestication in the Mesolithic, agriculture in Neolithic, it's continuing. Animal husbandry and hunting continued from the previous cultures. So animal husbandry and hunting. Fifth one, trading. Trading is the special subsistence pattern of Harappans. In this contest, you write one question, but we are going to deal agriculture in a different way. But here it helps. Write this question, 2021. 2020. Now you see how questions are. They are around this particular geography and history. 2021 question. Do you agree? Do you agree that ecological factors influenced the ecological factors influenced the flow and ebb. Flow means rise, ebb means decline. The flow and ebb of the Harappan civilization. Comment. 15 marker question. Are you able to connect? Ecological factors influenced the rise of urban civilization, one part. Same ecological factors are the causes for decline of Harappan civilization. Now what are these ecological factors? Ecological zone. Do you see this? Alluvial plain, mountains are there, plateaus are there, sea coast, rivers. Whenever they utilized these natural resources effectively, their urbanization reached the peak. Whenever they overexploited, alluvial plain overexploited, and rivers overexploitation or change in the river course. Due to you write one more point also, add here, dense forests. You write one more point, dense forest. Now even today also similar problem. When they used forest resources, they used for the timber, and they used that timber for burnt bricks, and these burnt bricks were helped in the urbanization. Rivers they used for water resource also, agriculture also, even for transportation also. Sea coast they used food resources, at the same time transportation mechanism. Plateaus and mountains they used for extracting the mineral resources. They used for copper, tin, and as a result they used bronze also. Likewise, so much and alluvial plain, they used for the agriculture. Now, whenever they used sufficiently, it led to the rise of urban areas. It led to the creation of strong economic background. This is the backbone of urban civilization. Now, whenever deforestation took place, rivers course changed, plain areas infertility came, and overexploitation of the minerals. Whenever they see this, again, it led to the fall of urban areas. Are you getting, Sanju? Surya, are you able to follow? This is very, very crucial, very analytical. Books do not have this one. Directly, it will not have. You write one more question. This is 2021 question. Next, one more question. Just before that, 2019 question, this one. Now, since 2013 onwards, you can see how questions are changing. In 1979, town planning feature. But by 2021-22, it is revolving around the ecological features. In 2019, you see this. Did the mastery over agriculture, did the mastery over agriculture act as a leverage, for the rise of Harappan towns, for the rise of Harappan towns and cities? Question mark. Harappan towns, discuss. Did the mastery over agriculture act as a leverage for the rise of Harappan towns and cities? Question mark. Discuss. 2019. Now you see 20. When it comes to 2022, we have already saw this question. I have asked you to write. The urban character of Harappan civilization was the result of neither of any outside influence nor a sudden act, but the gradual evolution of regional socio-economic factors. That was 2022. 2021, around this, and 2019, around this. You write one more question also, so that it will give you the complete trend. 2016. 2016 question. Explain why the majority of the known Harappan settlements are located in the semi-arid areas. Semi-arid areas with saline groundwater. With saline groundwater. Why majority of the towns are located in semi-arid with saline groundwater? So do you see? Nowadays the trend is moving towards the ecological factors. How many? Every year almost, in a direct or indirect way, it is connected with the environment. Because such a great civilization declined not with any outside invasion, but it is very gradual. Now you have to connect same even today also. Today India is having so many resources, but climate change is the major problem now. Not only for this, many of the civilizations or many of the countries are facing, particularly the African countries. Because Africa is very, very vulnerable to desertification, very, very vulnerable to climate change. If temperature rises due to global warming, the food pattern will change, agriculture pattern will change. As a result, it will threaten the people. Because this is the latest problem for humanity, and UPSC is also expecting for this latest problem, was there any example set by our history or not? Can we learn something from that or not? So in that respect, ecological angle is very, very important in understanding this. Sanju, are you getting fine? So this we will see tomorrow. Subsistence pattern, agriculture will come, then trading activities will come, and each and everything we have to deal in detail, those things. And finally, we have to see the decline also. Have you written yesterday's question, Sanju? Yes, can you show me in front of camera? Just a structure. Okay, little bit above. Fine. Another page. Okay. So you have given proper subheadings, proper paragraphs, underlinings also. Good. Fine. Can I see yours? Sanju, one suggestion, you can use the map. Use the map and you show all the early Harappan settlements. Very good. Like this, 15 marks means we cannot write more than 2 pages. So whatever information you know, you have to fit into that only. So we will practice 10 mark, 20, 15 mark and 20 mark. Tomorrow is the test. So tomorrow again we are going to practice, because mains is all about understanding the concept is enough to write good answers. Content also we are getting now. Gradually we are going to get more and more content, but side by side we have to know how to present answers. Final content. After doing the map, you will get a lot of evidence for Neolithic, Chalcolithic, Harappan, early Harappan, everything. Just you need to fit wherever, whatever is required. So you try to give as much evidence as possible.
Now we are talking about easy mode. If you come in easy mode, then again with that Pushana and Gokul second will come, that will be a barbie typical.
Okay.
That will be again easy mode.
Okay. Now, up to now?
So up to now, sir, the typical part is over now.
Huh.
Now it is
Smooth ride.
now it is smooth ride.
Huh.
Till Mahajanapada's Gupta's smooth ride. After Gupta's and later Gupta ride.
Early medieval part. Post Mauryan part, early medieval part. So that continuity, once we know in continuation, that is also going to be very smooth. Because now you see Harappan, behind the Harappan, how much progress will have already happened. In this context, you have to see. That's why Stone Age is very, very important. Are you getting, Sanju? Fine? Tomorrow we will meet. Test. I will give you questions. You will write in the classroom. See you. Okay, Sanju. See you tomorrow.